In order to begin voting procedure, a delegate must move to close debate. Once the motion is made, the director will ask for 2 speakers opposed to closing debate. Following the 2 speakers, the committee takes a procedural vote on the motion. If 2/3 of the body votes in favor of closing debate, then voting procedure will begin immediately. If the body does not have a 2/3 majority, regular debate will continue.
Thank you, United States. Are there any points or motions? China, to what point do you rise?
Motion to close debate.
That is in order. This motion requires 2 speakers against. After those speakers, we go into an immediate vote on whether or not to go into voting procedures. If you would like to speak against, please raise your placard. Australia, Brazil. You each have 30 seconds. Australia, you're recognized.
Australia feels that while we have made a lot of progress towards discussing this topic and finding a concrete resolution that will effectively deal with it, we should extend the time during which we do discuss it to enable more countries to have a full say in what our outcome shall be. Thank you.
Brazil would like to agree with Australia. Brazil would like to adequately address various issues such as biodiversity. Biodiversity greatly affects Brazil and other countries surrounding it and Asian countries. So we should address these issues before voting on any resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Brazil. Remember that it takes 2/3 of the committee supporting this motion for it to pass. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? By a vote of 17 in favor and 3 against, this motion passes. We are now entering voting procedures.
Once voting procedure begins, the rules of decorum are rigidly enforced. No one is allowed to enter or exit the room, and all delegates are expected to remain silent. Until voting finishes, delegates may only interrupt the chair to raise a point of order or parliamentary procedure. The committee votes on resolutions in the order that they were introduced. Amendments to the resolutions are voted on first. Amendments are not voted on in the order that they were introduced. Instead, the chair orders the amendments based on how much they change the original resolution. Amendments that cause the most change are voted on first, and they require a simple majority to pass.
If an amendment passes but directly contradicts another amendment, the latter amendment is automatically rejected. For example, if Amendment A makes one policy and Amendment B makes a policy that is the opposite, Amendment B will not be voted on if Amendment A passes. Once all amendments are voted on, the amendments that are passed will be added to the resolution. Now it's time to vote on the resolutions. Resolutions are voted on in the order that they are introduced. If the committee wants to change the order of voting, however, it can do so with a simple majority vote. Before voting, members have the option to divide resolutions and amendments. This is especially useful if a resolution contains one or more contentious elements that would cause the committee to fail the entire document. Rather than failing the whole resolution, delegates can divide the document into sections, isolating contentious elements, and vote on each component of the resolution separately. Such a process is commonly known as dividing the question. Division of resolutions can be an intimidating process, but it doesn't have to be. This is how the process works. First, a member must move to entertain divisions. The member does not suggest any specific divisions at this time. Before a vote, the committee must hear 2 speakers in favor of the motion and 2 speakers opposed to it. The motion passes with a simple majority vote.
In the second stage, the chair asks the members to suggest divisions using a specific process. Preambulatory clauses may not be edited or removed. Members divide between specific operative clauses. For instance, if a member does not want to pass operative clauses 3 through 5, the delegate may suggest that the body divide after clause 2 and before clause 6. During this stage, multiple divisions may be suggested. In the instance that multiple requests for division are made, a delegate may suggest that each operative clause be voted on individually.
In the third and final stage, the director will have the committee vote on each suggested division. These votes are substantive votes and pass with a simple majority. The clauses that remain after all votes are reorganized to create the final version of the resolution. A simple way of understanding this process is to think of clauses as being voted out of a resolution. The term dividing the question is perhaps more convoluted than the actual process. Now the committee votes on the final form of the resolution. Resolutions pass if a simple majority of its members vote yes. Because votes on a resolution or amendment are substantive votes, members may abstain from voting. While voting normally takes place by a show of placards, the committee may also choose to use a roll call vote. A roll call vote occurs when each delegation votes orally. A motion for a roll call vote must be made prior to voting on a resolution. If 1/5 of the body votes in favor of a roll call vote, the director will call the name of each member state and allow him to orally deliver his or her country's voice.
Certain resolutions that maintain international peace and security, suspend or expel a member from the United Nations, operate the trusteeship council, and change the budget may be deemed important questions. Because an important question only relates to certain issues, it cannot be used in most committees. A resolution considered an important question requires a 2/3 majority, making it difficult to pass. A motion to deem a resolution an important question must be raised prior to the final vote on a resolution, meaning after all amendments and divisions have been approved. This motion requires 2 speakers for and 2 speakers against. The motion passes by a simple majority.
After a vote, a member may move to reconsider a resolution. A resolution that has been passed or failed may be reconsidered. First, a member from the prevailing side must make the motion. This means that if a resolution was passed, the member that made the motion must have voted in favor of the resolution. The reverse of the situation is also true. After the motion is made, 1 speaker for and 1 speaker against the motion is heard. After the speakers, the committee takes a substantive vote that requires a 2/3 majority. If the committee votes to reconsider a resolution, the resolution is put to a vote again. This rule can also be used to revisit a topic after debate was adjourned. Now that we've explained the process, let's watch as the committee takes a vote on its 2 resolutions.
Let me explain several points during voting procedures. First, the doors are closed and members must stay in the committee throughout voting procedures. We have 2 resolutions to be voted on, 1.1 and 1.2. Resolution 1.1 has 3 amendments. We will consider these amendments first and then we will vote on the resolutions. Are there any points or motions on the floor? Seeing none, we will vote on Amendment 2 to Resolution 1.1 first because it makes the most changes. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All those opposed? All abstentions? Okay, in a vote of 12 in favor, 5 opposed, and 3 abstentions, Amendment 2 of Resolution 1.1 passes. Because Amendment 3 is the opposite of Amendment 2, Amendment 3 will be discarded. We will now vote on Amendment 1 to Resolution 1.1. All those in favor? All opposed? All abstentions? Thank you. With a vote of 5 for and 12 against, with 3 abstentions, this amendment fails. We will now move on to a vote on Resolution 1.1 with Amendment 2 added, and then Resolution 1.2, which has no amendments. Are there any points or motions on the floor? France, to what point do you rise?
France moves for a roll call vote.
That is in order. It requires the support of 1/5 of the body. All those in favor, please raise your placards. All opposed? In a vote of 2 in favor, 18 against, this motion fails. All those in favor of Resolution 1.1, please raise your placards. All opposed? All abstentions? Thank you. In a vote of 12 in favor, 5 opposed, and 3 abstentions, Resolution 1.1 passes. We will now vote on Resolution 1.2. Are there any points or motions? Hungary, to what point do you rise?
Hungary would like to make a motion to divide the question.
That is in order. This motion requires 2 speakers for and 2 against. All those wishing to speak for dividing the question. We will have Costa Rica and Russian Federation. All those wishing to speak against. United States and United Kingdom. We'll begin with Costa Rica in favor.
Costa Rica believes that we should divide the question because clauses 3 and clauses 5 in this resolution calls many countries in this committee to go against foreign policy. However, if we are able to divide the question, we will be able to salvage some of this great resolution. Therefore, Costa Rica is in favor of dividing the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will have the United States speaking against dividing the question.
Delegates, we have gathered here today to resolve the issue of transborder pollution. Now, if you look at the resolution on the table, examine it clause by clause, there is not one redeeming solution throughout all of this resolution. For this reason, there's no need to divide the question. All of it is bad, and voting on it would just create unnecessary work for us to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Russian Federation, you're recognized.
The Russian Federation would like to agree with Costa Rica in the idea that we need to divide the question. We feel as if there are a couple clauses that are not within the scope of this committee and therefore do not resolve the topic that we have been given. Thank you.
Thank you. Now United Kingdom, you're recognized.
On the surface, dividing the question seems like a good idea because it allows a country to pick and choose what they want to support. But as a whole, for this resolution, it would be the one thing that would hold it back. Because if you look between Clause 3 and Clause 4 is contingent upon what is accomplished in Clause 3. Therefore, if we divide the question, this whole resolution will not be as effective as it was now. Thank you.
Thank you. This motion to divide the question takes a simple majority. All those in favor? All opposed? Okay, in a vote of 15 in favor and 5 opposed, this motion passes. Do I have any suggestions for dividing the question? Indonesia.
Indonesia would like to divide clauses between 3 and 6.
Thank you. Based on Indonesia's suggestion, we will begin voting on Resolution 1.2, clauses 1.1 and 2. All those in favor? All opposed? All abstentions? By a vote of 12 in favor, 5 against, and 3 abstentions, these clauses pass. Now we will have a vote on clauses 3 through 5. All those in favor? All opposed? All abstentions? Thank you. By a vote of 5 in favor, 12 against, and 3 abstentions, these clauses fail. Finally, we will vote on clauses 6 through 12. All those in favor? All opposed? All abstentions? By a vote of 12 in favor, 5 opposed, and 3 abstentions, these clauses pass. Now we will vote on the resolution as a whole. All those in favor of the resolution, please raise your placards. All opposed? All abstentions? In a vote of 12 in favor, 5 opposed, and 3 abstentions, this resolution passes.
Remember, someone could have motioned for a roll call vote, allowing countries to abstain or vote with rights. Should a member elect to vote with rights during a roll call vote, he or she has the opportunity to accompany their vote with a brief speech clarifying their decision at the end of the roll call vote. Traditionally, members choose to vote with rights if they are departing from their conventional national policy. Once voting procedure is complete, it may be in order to recess the meeting, depending on the conference schedule. When making a motion for a recess, you need to give a specific time. The motion is then put to an immediate vote. There is no debate. A simple majority is needed for approval.
We hope that this program will help you to understand the rules that we use at IMUNA conferences. If you are new to Model UN, it's important to go over this program again, especially after you discuss the rules with your peers. In the written handouts that accompany this video, we include some suggestions for practicing the rules.
The hallmarks of IMUNA philosophy are consensus, compromise, and collaboration. An effective delegate will embody these 3 qualities during his or her performance at an IMUNA conference. Remember, Model UN conferences are exciting and fun, especially if you know the rules. Good luck on your preparation and participation at the conference.